Oh, hi. I lost my beard. If found, please return.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. Happy 2020. Obviously, this is the first review of the year. I always get really excited, so I apologize if my energy levels are through the roof. If you saw my goals video from last week, you know that I mentioned being consistent this year with YouTube uploads, and every week I'm going to shoot for it. I would like to do a video review every week, in addition to film content, adventure club videos. I just really enjoy gear, talking about gear, reviewing gear, so that's really one of my goals this year, is to provide you with some informative, entertaining reviews all year round, every week. Well, technically not every week, because this is the first review of the year and it's already been a couple weeks, but how about 52 reviews? The goal is 52 reviews. That is what we'll achieve. Today being the first review, I thought we'd get started with a bang, especially because people's running seasons are just beginning. You're already training, you're getting ready for your early season races. Maybe you're already looking at something early summer. We're gonna talk about a race shoe, a trail race shoe from Skechers. It's the Skechers Performance Speed TRL Hyper. I know it's the Speed Trail. I don't know why they took the A and the I out, but it's the Speed Trail Hyper. Full disclosure, this shoe really wasn't on my radar until Running Warehouse was like, hey, listen, Skechers has this new trail shoe, and I was like, yes. If you've seen some of my Skechers Performance shoe reviews in the past, you know that it's a brand that I haven't really been drawn to, but makes really great shoes, so I always find myself gravitating towards their road and trail options. They always surprise me. And the Speed TRL Hyper is no different. It's a super light trail racer with some smart design choices, some innovative materials being used, makes for a fast and dynamic trail racing fit. Really, I'm gonna liken this thing as a cross between a Nike Pegasus Trail and a Salomon Sense Ride 2. We have a 4mm drop. This is 9.1 ounces in my size 11, so it's lightweight, still very flexible in spots, super fun, fantastic for trail racing. So, as in all of my reviews, I like to talk about the things I like and dislike about a product. Today is no different. We're gonna start, as always, with the things that I like. Midsole design. So one thing I've really loved from Skechers Performance is their Hyper Burst midsole material. I always want to call it Hyper Boost because it's very similar to Adidas Boost. They've incorporated it here in the Speed Trail, but really only from the midfoot back through the heel. From the midfoot forward into the forefoot, they're using Ultraflight midsole, which is really interesting. It just seems to be a bit denser, more traditional type of midsole. That in combination with that red layer, which is a nylon rock guard, give you a really interesting dynamic ride throughout the foot strike. So plenty of protection up front, plenty of snappiness and resilience up front, but then you get that nice soft Hyper Burst midsole in the back for a lot of those descents. You can tell that this midsole is built to propel and to protect. I grew to like it. It's an interesting combo that works pretty well in this package. The upper. So what's really cool, and what took me a second to get used to, is this new mesh material, this mono mesh that they're using as the upper. It's very thin, very breathable, very durable, with that sublimated color design, which is what really didn't make me like it. But with the welded overlay across the toe box and all of the elements coming together, including the burrito style tongue, the upper works out really well. It's extremely durable, has held up really well here in the Northwest. As you can tell, the shoe is extremely dirty. I've run in tons of mud in inclement weather conditions, and the upper has been holding up really, really well. Your foot will get cold. There's not a lot of protection from the elements from above, but I know for summer racing, this is gonna be one of those shoes that's just gonna feel great. Did I already mention the burrito tongue? Because I'm going to mention it again because burrito, it works. The ankle fit, unique to this shoe, and this reminiscent of some of the Skechers Performance trail shoes in the past, is this weird ankle. It works in this shoe. I've talked about it in the past not working. The combination of these elements is a package that does work. So good job, Skechers Performance. One, we have the knitted collar, which provides plenty of precision fit around that ankle, keeps debris, dirt, small rocks out of the ankle collar from falling into the shoe. There's this additional sort of stitched ring around the ankle collar that has a lacing system built into it. This ankle lock system has worked pretty well so far, which is surprising because I haven't always been keen on systems that incorporate additional lacing material around the ankle to try to lock that ankle in. It just seems like, oh, we're going to try to fix a problem that doesn't really exist. It's a unique sensation as you tighten the laces down on the front, you feel that ankle collar sort of come together. It's a nice feel. It's better than the previous trail shoes from Skechers as far as fit's concerned. So what you got going up here is a thumbs up. And my final like is weight. The shoe does not weigh a ton. It's 9.1 ounces in my size 11. A lot of trail shoes out there today with either full outsoles, thicker midsoles, really durable uppers, they just tend to weigh a lot. So 10 ounces or more is what I usually find a trail shoe comes in at. So when you find something under that, usually make note of it. This one feels particularly light for what you get, mainly because it's incorporating a rock plate, a full rubber outsole, Goodyear rubber, really durable mesh upper, as well as the toe guard and additional lacing systems right here around the ankle collar. So all of these additional systems would normally make a shoe weigh a lot more, but at 9.1 ounces, it feels like a race flat for trail, and it fits and feels like one too. That's a lot for a really light package, and that's something I wanted to mention as a like. That being said, it's not all Russell Wilsons and popsicle sticks. There are a couple of things I dislike about the Speed TRL Hyper. Let's start with foot fatigue. So because it's designed more as a trail racer, I found myself and my feet getting a bit fatigued on any distance over 13 miles. So anywhere between 13 and 20 miles, I feel is the limit to this shoe on my foot, only because I'm a bigger guy. So the more reduced midsole that you're dealing with, the less hyper burst up front, you're just gonna get less miles out of it for me in a single go. I have not found that to be the case in similarly designed shoes, as I mentioned, like the Pegasus Trail, the Solomon Sense Ride 2. Those I can get more miles out of, but I did find the limit with this just around 15 miles for myself. Could be a different story if that Hyperburst material was pulled through to the forefoot. I just think that I really like the Hyperburst. But the shoe will certainly excel at shorter distances, shorter races, so I'm gonna be using this in a lot of the shorter distance races on trails. I'm excited to start racing in it. Limited use. So kind of in conjunction with that previous dislike, I just want to emphasize that I would consider this more of a race shoe rather than a training shoe. I would love it if Skechers Performance managed to create some sort of combo of what we have here mixed with more Hyperburst midsole, just to give it a more trainer feel. So we have something that we can train long distances in, and something that we can race in. So while the shoe will certainly work in a lot of conditions, it's going to be favored by those running on non-technical, drier trails, especially with that outsole. For inclement weather, more technical trails, you just need a bit more. Yeah, I'd really love to see them come out with something with a very similar upper, just Hyperburst all the way through. That'd be great. And finally, width and fit. So as has been the issue with a lot of trail shoes these days, I get that this is a more precision style fit, definitely going to be suited more towards that race environment. It is a bit narrow right there through the midfoot, and fit could be an issue for some people's feet. I didn't have a lot of long-term issues, blisters and all that stuff, never really ran into that. Many people will. Only because the shoe's shape and design are certainly catered to those who prefer that more narrow fit. And that is pretty much it for my dislike. So in conclusion, the Skechers Performance Speed Trail Hyper is certainly one of my new favorites for go fast racing sort of environments on trail. I have been enjoying it a ton in training runs, definitely in that middle distance realm, but I look forward to putting it to good use in trail races very, very soon. Let's get a little bit more specific. Build quality. I've been really impressed with the build quality of this shoe. This mono mesh, again, it's a material that is far more durable than I expected. The welded overlay across the toe box adds that additional protection up front. It's just holding up well. Goodyear rubber, still intact. Comfort, I love the Hyperburst. I've talked about that in other Skechers Performance reviews. I think that the midsole and that nylon plate up front are really good at protection. I don't think they're as comfortable as the Hyperburst, so overall, it's a comfortable shoe, but as I mentioned, for middle or lower distances. Fit, I didn't have much issue. I think the ankle collar is finally getting dialed in. I think that the overall width is fine for my foot. There are going to be people that have issues because it does sort of tend towards the narrow side, and especially with the upper not being as forgiving. It's going to work for some and not for all. Price, it's $135. It's a little bit steep. If this thing was anywhere from $110 to $115, I'd be like, you know what, that's a solid price point for this racing shoe. But $135, it's a little pricey. And finally, looks. So again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This is always a very subjective thing that I like to talk about. The reason I do talk about it is because, in my opinion, if you're wearing shoes that you think you look great in, it does help. It helps your full being be a better runner. So that's my explanation to why I still include this. I don't think it's the best looking shoe. I think that the sublimated colors that they have here are flashy, but look at what it looks like just dirty. It's just a mess. I don't mind the bright yellow. I don't mind that red. I think that's cool and flashy, but the sublimation just looks a mess. Which brings us to our final criteria. Is the Skechers Performance Speed Trail Hyper a buy, try, or a why? Try for sure. If you have not tried this, try it. I think you might like it. If you have tried other Skechers shoes in the past, or you're familiar with the Hyperburst material, you're gonna love these. So those people, I say bye. So this is gonna be a try-buy for me. I really do enjoy my time in this shoe. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. This has been fun. That's it for today's review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, if you would like to get any more information or get a pair of these for yourself, there's a link to Running Warehouse in the description. It is an affiliate link. You do not have to click it, but it does help the channel out. That is where I got these shoes, so I encourage you to go check them out to answer all of those additional questions that you might have. But this is also an opportunity for me to ask, have you run in these shoes? If you have, jump into the comments. Let us know your experiences in the Trail, Speed, TRL, Hyper. That is it for this review. If you liked it, make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you click the notification bell so you're updated every time a new video is uploaded to the channel. And social media, there's other links there that will take you to the other Ginger Runner social media where you can find links to fun stuff that I'm doing in real time. Tiger Claws coming up. We have a fun event happening in Seattle with Gary Robbins, Ellie Greenwood, and Dylan Bowman. You're not going to want to miss that. All of that information can be found across the social media sphere. If you'd like to continue to support the channel and get really cool perks on the back end, go to patreon.com/thegingerrunner. For as little as $1 a month, you get stuff. It's pretty great. Might want to get one of these t-shirts too, just saying. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week for more reviews. So excited to get this year kicked off right and tight. If you've made it this far, I apologize for that sentence. Get out there, train hard, race harder, and party the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next week. Okay, bye-bye.